Okay, so our first one that we're going to start with is this one. Now, it is a little bit soft. This was when I was first getting started with photography, and sometimes my focus wasn't as sharp as it should have been. But let's go ahead, and the first thing I want to do with this is actually fix the crop, because it's going to be a lot easier if it's vertical for us to actually look at it, so we can understand what we're looking at. Alright, we're going to hit done. I like that. The framing's pretty good, and if I'll be honest with you, this was shot on the Canon 75-300 lens. It's not a great lens, I'll be honest. It's a budget lens. That's what it's for. So I think our next thing we're going to do is we're going to try and recover some of these highlights. Now, I don't know how well this is going to go because this was also shot on my Canon T7, which it's an older camera. There's not that much dynamic range in it. But we're going to go into the light section, and I think we're going to drop the exposure just a smidge. You know the word, just a smidge. And then we're going to come in here, and I think if we bring the contrast up just a little bit, just a hair, that should help. And then now we're going to drop the highlights, not a whole lot. Let's see what happens when we go all the way. It helps, but 42 seems fine. That's a little bit more than a little bit, but it'll be fine. It's great. And then our shadows, let's kind of just darken those a little bit. Just add more punchiness to the actual picture, especially right here. This portion here needs some more darkness, just to add more contrast to it. Our whites, let's go ahead and drop it, because I think, yeah, if we bring it up, that's just going to blow out the picture. So let's kind of bring it down. Now this gorgeous cow was just in a random field, and I was fortunate enough to snag a couple pictures of her. So this is what we're going to be editing today. Our blacks, let's just fully make those blacks nice and pop. Those blacks pop so nicely. And then we're going to go into color over here. And this picture kind of has a warmer feel to it, so I think we're going to drag the temperature towards the warmer side. So if we were just dragging this over just a little bit, that's going to actually warm up the picture and just make it more inviting. And then if we want to bring up our vibrance, just a little bit, like maybe 5 at most. Our saturation, now saturation can easily ruin your picture. That was one of the first things that I found out, that I just ruined all my pictures because I turned the saturation up so high because I thought it was making it artsy or whatever. So when you turn it up, see, now what is this? This isn't what a cow looks like. So if you are going to put any sort of saturation, you want to put a little bit, because right here you're starting to see the red on the back of the cow where it's being hit with the light is just changing, and that's not actually what the color is. If you want it to be realistically, I'm going to say single digits, if even any. Yeah, like that is probably fine. If you overdo it with your saturation, it's just not going to look like the real world. It's going to look very fake and unpleasant. If we go into our effects now, let's drop a little bit of dehaze on there, just because, again, that lens wasn't great. The clarity and the haziness of it, just, it's kind of bummed up the picture a little bit. So now we're going to, let's bring up the clarity just a little bit. What happens if we bring it down? It's looking like those weird pictures where you have like the two pictures that are kind of inside of each other. I don't really like that. So let's bring our clarity up. Again, I'm thinking just single digits. Honestly, in my opinion, a lot of your edits should be very light, especially if you're trying to shoot a more realistic wildlife. If you are doing artistic photo shoots with people, then yeah, by all means, if you want to put it black and white and that's the theme for the photo shoot, go for it. That's fantastic. But for my type of photography and wildlife photography, I think, in my personal opinion, less editing is a lot better. That being said, I love a little bit of vignetting. It just really draws the focus into this beautiful cow. And then I think that's pretty much it. Let's head into details and see if we can sharpen this just a little bit. Again, I don't want to put too much processing on it. I want this to be as realistic as if I was seeing it. I like to treat my wildlife photography as sharing that split second in nature with the world. So now we're going to take our noise reduction and we're just going to bring it up. And honestly, I think that's kind of our picture. If we see it, this is before, this is after. I think that is just making it more punchy, and it's just a lot more enjoyable to look at. And I think that's our first picture done. Our next picture is this one. It's pretty nice. If we go into our light, I think we had the same problem because it was the same photo session. So we're going to bring down the exposure and the highlights and bring up the contrast, lower the shadows, just to try and bring back some of these details because they're a bit overblown. So like I said, our exposure, we're going to drop that by a little bit, not too much. Contrast can easily get out of hand, so I like to add a little bit. And then for our highlights, let's just drop that down just a smidge. And then our shadows, like I said, we're going to drop it down. Our whites, like we had in the first picture, if you bring them up, you're blowing out the picture. So we're going to bring it down. And in our blacks, this is going to affect a bit of the eyes, the shadow, and definitely the background. We are going to lower it to get, not quite that much. I'm thinking mid-20s. Yeah, that looks a lot better. And then if we go into our colors, again, let's make this a little bit of a warmer color. Because if we go cold, it's just looking weird with the actual color of the cow. So we're going to make it a little bit warmer. Again, single digits. We're not pushing our edits to the extreme. Our vibrance, I'm going to say, honestly, if we're doing any, it's going to be under 5. Our saturation, again, I think I'm going to aim for like 2. I don't want it to be blown out. I don't want it to look fake. And then we go into our effects. We're going to add some clarity. And then we're going to add some dehaze as well. And of course, a little bit of vignetting, because why not? I mean, realistically though, we're not losing too much detail with the vignetting, because up in this corner and this corner, it's literally just shadow. Down in these corners, it's perfectly fine. And then if we go all the way down to details, we're going to raise the sharpness up just a little bit. And then we're going to do the noise reduction. Again, not too much. And then honestly, that is perfect. If we take the before and the after, we're again just making it a little bit more punchy. And then for our last picture, we're gonna go with this one. Now, I know the outside isn't very in focus, but that's what vignetting is for. So we're gonna, first off, go all the way back up, and we're going to hit the light. We're going to drop the exposure, bring up the contrast. You guys know the drill. We are lowering the highlights and lowering the shadows. A lot of these edits are very similar to the ones we've done before because they were the same photo session and the settings did not change too much. So the same mistakes that we have happen across each of the pictures. Let's lower the whites a little. Let's lower the blacks. Our color, let's again warm it up a bit. See, that made a big difference. If you see here, it's looking a bit colder. And now we are adding it again, not even pushing past single digits. Our vibrance, again, very little. +2, that's really all you're going to need. And then our saturation, we are going to do 3. I like that. If we go into our effects, we are again going to hit it with the clarity and the dehaze. And this is the part I was talking about. We are going to put a strong vignette on it so that your eye is naturally drawn away from the background. If we go into the detail, we are going to bring up the sharpness to try and rescue a little bit of the out of focusness of it. And then our noise reduction, we're going to bring up. And honestly, I'm kind of thinking this needs a new frame. So if we are bringing this here, let's make this again a portrait. I think that that's pretty good. Let's center the cow a little bit more. Right there, I like that. Although, if I'm honest, let's put it a little bit off center so that its entire body mass is more balanced. And then I like that. Now, this picture isn't great because, again, it's out of focus. But sometimes you're not going to have the best pictures. But you still gotta try and edit them, and they may turn out a lot better than you expect. And now let's just see the before. And it's a little bit better. This isn't quite, printed out, hanging on the fridge, but maybe the spam Instagram. You guys know what I'm talking about? I think that's it for today, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you guys next Tuesday morning. And if you want your wildlife or pet footage along with a shout out at the end of my videos, send them to me. I would love to see it. A lot of these pictures that I show in my Lightroom edits can be purchased at my store. The link is in the description below. Thank you guys. I will see you fine internet folks next Tuesday morning.